Hello, Judy here from Thistledew Creations, and today I want to show you how I'm going to use these little flower heads from my Mother's Day haul from 2024, May 2024. I bought 4 stems of these flowers. Each one had several of these on them. And I was so excited. I had flowers that I could use. And I haven't used any of them, and it's now February 2025, so that's how long I've had these and not used them. So it's time, right? So all I do here is I'm taking them off the stem. So I've taken this little plastic stamen off, or the part that goes behind. I'm not sure, maybe the calyx. I'm just tossing that in the garbage. I don't need it. And then these come off. You get a bunch of these, so you could save them if you thought you could think of a way to use them, I suppose, but right at the moment, I'm at a loss for how I would use them. If anyone has a way to use them, let me know in the comments. We'll give it a try. So I've got 4 colors here: mauve, pink, coral, and blue. Might as well save a few. Maybe I'll think of something. And then when you get those 2, 4, 5 off, then you've got sort of the bud, which I think is just one of these kind of folded up, one of these same things. And how am I going to get that off? Scissors will likely do it. Yeah, it is. It's just another one. So I can just pull that right through there, and that gets rid of the wire, plastic parts. So I'm just going to do that on a few of these so I have all the different colors to play with. I want to show you a few different ways to use them, and I haven't even worked out all the ways, not even in my head yet. I've got a bunch of supplies that I know I can use for it, so we'll just see where we end up, what we end up with. So I've got the mauve, the blue, and the coral. And now I need pink. So these can be just embellishments is all I'm thinking right now. I'm not making a project, I'm making an embellishment. So there's just a slight difference as to something that it's not a journal, it's something that you would use to decorate your journal, or decorate something that goes in your journal, or decorate a card. I think I'm going to want to do a bunch of those, and so that's good to start. Got my flowers. Now, one thing I was kind of hoping to locate before I started the video is a very small doily of some sort to put in behind it. And the smallest ones that I have, I believe, are too big, or the smallest ones I could find anyway. I think they were about 3.5 or 4 inches. But you know what I do have is some real crocheted ones that might work. But I had tried making slits and folding them in, but then you're getting it cups in the middle. It's like when you fry bologna, it cups on you. But that was what I was thinking, was to have the flower surrounded with lace. So it just came to me when I was talking what I can do for that. Let's find my, there's some more that are already flat. Make it around to those. Boxes and boxes and boxes of things, and never be able to find what you need when you need it. It's frustrating and wonderful to have so many things. So what I've got is cutouts like this, but bigger. I could actually still use that though. wait and see how I use that. We usually have a bunch of them handy. There's something else there that will work too. So let's carry on. I would go and grab some of those, but my craft room, overstock, etc. is way, way out in the other side of the house. And I don't want to leave you that long. So the first thing that I want to start with will be probably the last one we do, is these little 5/8 punched out pieces of cardstock that I always punch out little extra bits when I'm punching other shapes and there's little corners left. I'll cut little circles with my punches. And so what I'm going to do while we're working on the other things is I'm going to paint some of these with my nail polish and let it have a chance to dry. So some of them I've got are yellow. I did that on purpose so they would look more like yellow centers of flowers. And I just have this nail polish. This is an opal nail polish that I've had for a long time. An opal top coat. It's Avon. I was looking to see, I think, yeah, it is Avon, and it's just called Opalescence. So it has the large flakes of clear iridescent, like mica in it. Now I have added more clear nail polish into this bottle. So it's not really Avon nail polish anymore, but it's still the original flakes. It's just when it gets down so close to the bottom and you can't really get any more out, if you just add more clear nail polish to it, it can be any brand, it will free them up and you can finish using them up. So this is a little bit of a yellowy top coat that I'm using, but it's okay because I'm going over yellow paper anyway. So I'm just gonna paint some of these. And I'm getting to the point where I almost need to add more. This can be put on fairly thick if you have time to let it dry. I'm going to not do it too thick because I want to be able to use them by the end of the hour or whatever we are here. And this just gives it some sparkle and some shine. And eventually these will be in the center of one of these flowers, is my plan. That's the plan anyway. So these ones that are kind of yellow, I'm just using this one with the clear, what I call clearidescent, clearidescent nail polish sparkles. And I know that there's products made especially for crafting that would give you the same effect, but I have hundreds of bottles of nail polish, so I just use what I have. Now these white ones that you can hardly see likely, I'm going to put this blue Sally Hansen Hard as Nails. You can get this at Dollarama. I don't know how much it is nowadays. Certainly not $1 anymore. But it has blue sparkles and the polish is translucent, but it's blue. It's got a blue tinge to it. So I'm thinking this will look pretty maybe in the pink ones. I'll just grab my tweezers to hold it down so I can dab. And grab a little more. I hope you can see that okay. And I don't mind if it's not a perfect solid blue. And I think some of my other sparkly colors are in at my dad's, actually. Yeah, I think they are. So we'll just go with what I've got here. I do have another one that's kind of black and silver. Maybe I'll do a couple of those. Literally have. I could probably fill a Rubbermaid tote, and I know there's lots of different sizes of Rubbermaid totes, right down to tiny ones, but I'm talking the big one. I could fill it with nail polish because I have several different small totes full of nail polishes. I used to be quite into, well, I still am. I still wear nail polish, but now this is pretty. This is almost like it looks black in the bottle, but it's coming out clear with just glitter. The glitter is maybe silver and gold or something. Some small specks and some large specks, which makes it interesting too. That's going to take a long time to dry. That's pretty thick. We'll see how we do. I can always use the tweezers to handle them if they're a little touchy. Might not be able to use all of them today, but I'll just get them started and give you the idea. Plant the seed for you. Okay, so let's get back to some of these ones we can do right away and finish. So the idea came to me from something that I saw on, I think it was Facebook, last night I think it was. I just found this other little thing of things you can, the lady was using buttons in the center of these sort of flattened silk flowers. So I pulled out some buttons, and we'll do that first. So I think like that monochromatic is pretty, certainly. It's a good place to use these kind of fabric covered buttons. That one looks pretty. Here I've got a button that's more orangey. I might try that with the blue. That's why I wanted all the colors out here so I could try different combinations. This one is almost too big for the flower. Here's the one that is, oh, that's too, see, that kind of a button is not gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to glue that down. Need that something else. Oh, here's a little heart that I was looking for earlier today. Certainly could use a heart in the center too. You could always just use a white button. I pulled out some metal buttons as well out of my stash. Here's one that's got kind of an Art Nouveau look to it. That might look good with that red. And then a pink domed button. Might look good with the blue or the mauve. This one is an odd color. It's kind of purple. It's a very vintage button. It's kind of purple, but obviously much more dull than that purple. It might look okay with the pink. No, it just looks brown with the pink. I'm not sure where I would use that one with. Where's the rest of those? That's an odd one. That's not a pretty color to me. It's not bad with the white. Well, anything should be able to go with white, right? Oh, there's a pretty brass one with a white rose in the middle. Again, a little bit big for these flowers. Might look really pretty with the red. Is that missing? No, it's not missing. It's just bent. So that one might be what I do there. And then let's see if there's any other of these brass ones that I would want to use. Oh, there's a small one. I love these boxes, but then I also hate them. So this one has an interesting design, and that's very vintage looking. So that one might look good with the blue in my mind. And then what else? Just white button. You could also layer buttons. So maybe that, and then a pink one on top. Something like that for a layered effect. So that was one idea, is to put buttons in the middle of them. So what I would use for that is the 3-in-1 and my tweezers, because the 3-in-1 is acetone based. So it's going to, I'm going to do a monochromatic one. I'm kind of liking the look of that. So let me get a hold of the button. I'm going to put some 3-in-1 on the back here. And just place it where I want it, in the middle of that flower. And then I'm going to put these just on a magazine so that I can move them around. Actually, let me make it a little easier for you to look at. Put it on a white background. There we go. So we've got buttons. We've got a couple buttons here. Now this one is a shank button. Luckily the shank on this one is plastic. So it'll be fairly easy to get that off. I'll just take my snub nose or flat nose pliers and just cut it off. Get it as close as I can. I just love this button. I don't think I have any more of this one. And I'll be able to get a better grip on this one, so I don't need my tweezers. And I really do like the way it looks on that red. I don't use a lot of red. Jewelry making for over 20 years, and you know, I know a lot of people like red. And I just never made a lot of red jewelry. It might have hurt my sales, but I just never did make a lot of red jewelry. It's not a color I love working with. That is going to be a nice embellishment, a nice pop. And then let's do this layered one. This bigger button in the back is a little big for my liking, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. Actually, maybe I'll do it on the white flower. It's a bit better proportion there. And then keep the pink idea. I went ahead and put my cap back on. There we go. And the other thing that you can do is you can put some string through the buttons, and I'll show you that in a second too. We'll do one with string. I spent several days, several nights with my dad this winter so far. He had knee surgery and he was, you know, just needing a little more help than normal. So I've stayed with him for a few months, really. And one of the things that I would do is try to find things to do in front of the television. So I did put some string through some buttons. So there's one with an owl. I think all these little round ones are owls. That one might go good there. And then we have, there's some other little shaped ones. A star, let's do a star. So that the star might go with the purple. And this might go with the coral. So let's do a couple of those. I don't want to do too many of any one thing because I've got a few ideas to show you. And I thought, you know, let's just do them all in one video. So I can do one of those, you know, 6 ways to use fake silk flowers, or 6 ways to put centers in your silk flowers or something. I don't know. I have to figure out the name of the video still. But so this I've tied with brown embroidery floss. So I just went from the back side to the front and made a knot. And then it's, I don't know, it just seems a little more authentic than just gluing down a button. It almost looks like the button is sewn down, which of course it isn't. It's going to be 3-in-1 glue, but it'll look like it's sewn down because of the thread. So that's that one. And I'm going to put this owl in the middle of this turquoise. I don't know what kind of flower this would be from, but it's one I got in a swap. So I'm just shortening these. I left them long because I wasn't really sure how I was going to use them. I still am not, but I know I don't want them long for this. Pretty sure I don't. So a little owl. You can see it and get the idea. So those are cute. I want to use this metal button. Now this might be harder to get off, but I should still be able to use those same pliers and get that off. And I do want to do a metal one on the blue. So just a good squeeze. Oh, no. I might have to. Oh, it went flying. I think something did come apart. I don't think I can chase it right now. Too many places it could be. I'm gonna have to abandon that one, folks. Sorry. So we'll go on to, I'm not gonna do more of those right now. I might come back to that. Let's go on to idea number 2 that came to me as an offshoot of this idea. And that is jewelry. So I mentioned I made jewelry for years. These were little stud earrings that I got to sell for mostly for kids. So they were very inexpensive from, I think, AliExpress at the time. And so they're just little post earrings that you can just easily take those flowers off of. And then I thought these would look cute as centers, for instance, in the purple one. So let's do that. So not everyone will have as many of these as me, but you might have a little collection of earrings that you don't wear anymore, especially stud earrings. And I'll show you, it doesn't have to be like a flat back embellishment like this one is. I also use things like this. So we've got a rhinestone earring. It's in a setting, but if I can get that post cut off, I'll try to hold on to it this time, folks. Yeah, that one come off much easier. A little post, and just make sure that gets in the garbage so it doesn't end up in my socks. And then I can glue that down, I think in the middle of the blue, but actually let's try it in the pink. I think it would look smashing in the pink. And actually that might be a spot where I would like that white underneath it. That's what I was thinking for that. So I'll put some 3-in-1 on the back of the white. Put that in the middle of the pink flower. And then put that blue on top of that. And then that gives you a really pretty layered embellishment to go on something in your journal. I like that one a lot. What else have I got in here? I've got snowflakes, which doesn't really go with flowers. I've got other little flowers, like these little pink ones or yellow ones are more of a resin, as opposed to these ones, which were more of, they're resin, but then they've been flocked. So they're like fuzzy almost. And sometimes you can just bend these and they'll come off, but I think I'm gonna have to cut this one off. Depends on how they were glued on. I didn't make these, like I didn't glue them onto the posts. If I was gonna make them, I would use E6000, which would be hard to get off. Now, what have I got to layer? I like the layered idea and I like the blue and yellow idea, but I've got some other small flowers here that I might be able to layer up with that. Oh, and you know what? I've got some small purple flowers close by. These are too big. I love these though. Aren't they gorgeous? And then this was the other idea that I saw as I was pulling things out, that I thought you could also use a punch or just cut out leaf shapes out of book page. have? Oh, there it is. Some more little silk flowers that I saved off of, I think it was something at my dad's. It was an old flower arrangement that Mom had in the window, and it's been there for 10 years or more. And we took it out of the window, and so I thought I would save the flowers and use them. It was just looking tired, you know. So we can do the same thing, take off the parts that make it sort of three-dimensional. We want them a little less dimensional for a junk journal, especially if they're going inside of it, because then it makes your book thick, thick, thick. So these are still wanting to be kind of cupped, but I think we can solve that. So we go, oh, that looks pretty in there, doesn't it? I mean, we could flatten them with my flattening iron too. I'm going to try that and see if I can get those flat at all. I might not be able to. They've probably been set with heat, so I might be able to unset it with heat. So I just have a little mini straightening iron for your hair. I bought one that was sort of like a set, a big one and a little one for traveling. And I kept it up at our cottage, at our trailer, for years. Just in case, you know. Even when we did go out somewhere, there was a local restaurant, we would sometimes go out for a meal. I would never straighten my hair at the trailer. I used to tease my mother-in-law because she did. The first couple times she was up, she wanted to curl her hair before we went out. And I said, no, trailer hair, don't care. It kind of became a thing for us. So let's see. This is going to get hot fairly quickly. And even these ones are a little cupped. They're okay, but let's just see if we can flatten them. So if we just run that through, it doesn't take much and it's flat, not cupped anymore. So keep that trick in mind if they're too three-dimensional for you. Just take some of that embossing or whatever it would have been that they did to it, to take some of that out. These ones are almost like a satin. Probably better quality than these dollar store ones. My mom had a flower business for years where she did flower arrangements and even bridal arrangements. She had a whole basement full of silk flowers. This one's really cupped. I want to do it. Yeah, that doesn't take much at all. You don't want to take all of the like the lines and stuff out of it, but just to get that cupping flattened out a bit. This is a good trick for if you've got ribbon that's been on a card. Just get the kinks out of it when you take it off the card if it's been on there for a long time. If it's been folded. I don't mind a little bit of dimension, but if it's on the front of a journal, I like a little bit of a dimension, but if it's going to be inside, you want it kind of flat-ish. I'm not keeping it in there very long, just long enough to take the curve out of it. You really have to do that on those ones that were buds, because they've been forced into that shape for a long time. And again, if you can't get those off with your finger, just use your pliers and grab them and pull. They'll come off. And then these stamens, you don't really need to keep them, I don't think, although you could cut them off and use them again, just flat. I'm not going to. I don't want to. Yeah, these are much better quality flowers. You can tell by how hard they are to get apart. they're not glued or anything. It's just tight. Everything's tight. Okay, so we have buttons. We have old jewelry. Mine, in some cases, is new jewelry, but raid your jewelry box or your little girl's jewelry box or your granddaughter's jewelry box. Find all those ones that are singles, not pairs anymore. A lot of people who know I make jewelry will always ask me, oh, I've got a pair of earrings where I lost one. Can you do something? Can you match it? No, not likely, but I can make it into something else for you. That's what I always tell them, which is true. Like, I can't usually match. There's just so many options in beads and jewelry and charms that unless I made them and have more of the same charms, the quick answer is like not likely. I don't like to just say no, but how much time do you want me to spend searching the internet for the certain charm that you have, right? So usually the answer is no. Anyway, I like this, but I think it needs something else layered with it. And I'm thinking pink, blue, and yellow would be pretty. I was thinking that this was 2. Yeah, it is. It's 2 layers. I thought I could see the edges. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, that's going to be subtle, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good, y'all. If anyone doesn't know, that is a Brenda Gant quote. She's someone who does country cooking. I think she's from Alabama. And that's what she says. It's going to be good, y'all. I watched her for quite a while at the beginning of the pandemic. Where'd my tweezers go? Darn things. Always disappearing on me. There. That does look pretty. Pink, yellow, and blue. Now let's use this dark purple in the center of a purple one, and then let's use it in the center of one of the other colors. And just see what different creations we can get there. Did I flatten enough of these? See, now that wants to pop up. Let's see what it looks like with this. I wonder if I try to heat this afterwards, if it's going to wreck my glue. I wanted to see what it looks like with the blue too. I love blue and purple together. So the layering idea is one thing. And then I have this in my back pocket. Bingo set. I got this at a thrift store for $1. And I think it was on my trip this summer with my sister. I can't really remember. You might be able to tell me if you've been watching my haul videos. But this is what I was thinking. Well, there's the bingo markers, and then there's the bingo calling numbers that you could use. So I'm going to open this right up because I'm going to salvage the cards out of here too. They'll go for something else, altered bingo cards. And then I never even really registered when I was looking that I could use these plastic discs. I was interested more in using these, but you could use these as well. And they're just taped to the package in line, so I'll leave them taped together for now. And then I'm going to throw the plastic part away, but I'll keep this and either collage on it, probably collage on it, and then cut it up. I could use some of the blue just as it is, but it's a little bright. But I'll definitely keep it regardless. So let's see Anyone have a favorite bingo number that's sort of their favorite one? I'm going to go 066 because I was born in 1966. Giving away my age, I know. Now these are hollow in the back, which isn't great for this. Maybe what I'll have to do is I'm just gonna, they're joined together like plastic, like they were molded all as one. So I took it apart and it's got little tabs left like you have when you do die cuts, when you punch die cuts out of a page. So I'm just sanding those smooth. Probably not necessarily necessary. Now you could fill this with something, but I think if I'm careful I can just use the 3-in-1 glue and get that edge well enough. It's going to have to be the 3-in-1. Which one will I put this in? Purple and blue, I think, because that's my favorite colors. Although, it kind of looks good with the coral and purple because the color, it's red, but it looks kind of pinkish. So let's see how I can do this. How well I can do this. Doesn't take a lot of this stuff to stick, so I might be okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid getting it on my fingers, though. It doesn't take a lot of glue. And just plop that right in the middle. So 066. Let's do one for my sister, 068, giving away her age. What would I do hers in? Purple and purple. Even just roughing up that bottom surface might help the glue stick as well. So I will use the rest of these, probably some in like in clusters and embellishments and stuff, or just on ATCs or anything like that. Any kind of little collage where you want a number element. It's a bit of a 3D element, but it's not a dome, it's flat. It's only about 1/8 of an inch thick. So it'd be good on the front of a journal or a card where you have a little bit of room for it. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I was thinking I could do some with brads as well. So I've got a bunch of brads pulled out. Oh, and I have one more thing too. I'm going to do one of these since I discovered that. Now, maybe a yellow center. Yellow with the purple or blue. This coral, this red, what they're using it. Oh, it's too fluorescent for me. Never mind. The yellow might work though. And I could also put some nail polish on top of this yellow too, to make it a better yellow. So let's put the yellow with the blue. West Virginia colors. And then, before actually I'll go ahead and put it over to the side here, so I don't have to move it again. And I'm going to put a little bit of this blue on top of it. It'll be kind of greenish, I think. And sparkly. Just going to check and see if you can see that. Nope. Sorry, I thought you could. There we go. I hope that whole thing hasn't been shot too close up. I've been setting them to the side thinking you can see them, and you couldn't. Okay, and then the other thing that I had to use for the centers was, of course, actual brads. And this is good for layering flowers as well. So I've got blue, purple, and pink. I need a hole in the middle of it. This one is paper. I've cut right through it, but I think the brad will hold it in place regardless. So just put the brad through the holes. You got 3-color flower layer. This can then be, I'm not going to cut these off because you could put this then through even a bundle of pages and make it like what holds the paper pad together. And it's decorative, and then you might get through the other side and there's a much smaller metal part left. So I'm going to leave those long. Isn't that pretty? And just a simple center, but you can also get decorative brads, and I had some of those handy too. So many things. How do I keep them all handy, right? Oh, here's the box. So this box of brads is more decorative ones. We've got little dragonflies and a ladybug. The ladybug would look good on there. I'll do one of those. And I've got a little duck. That's not really appropriate. A balloon. I don't think I'll do a dragonfly. Little bugs. Like an ant. And then music too. You could do little discs of music paper in the middle. They'd be cute. So I have those in all different sizes. And then the fun ones. So that's another idea, is just to layer up different flowers with a brad. So this one's already got a tiny pearl in the center. So let's go ahead and use that as is. That's pretty. So that's another thing. You can put a pearl in the center. That one just already happened to be done. And then, what was I thinking? Oh, the bug shapes. I'm going to use the ladybug because I think it matches the best color-wise. And do I want to do it? I want to do it through something else. What would I want to do it through? It matches this so well. I need something in between it though. I don't think that's right. That blue isn't quite right either, although it's pretty. It's just that it's already got that bead. Well, I could glue it down. What's this white one? I think it's too big. It's already layered. You glue this blue flower down. Oh, excuse me. I tried to stifle that so it didn't blast you. I know they say not to do that with your sneezes. So there's a blue center in a coral colored flower. Now the question is, will the force that through, or do I need to poke a hole? I need to poke a hole. I'm just going to go in between the blue flower petals instead of trying to pierce through it. Pierce a little hole in the coral one in behind. And then I need to get both prongs through the hole. See, I'm not holding anything together here, am I? But if I was going to put this as, like I said, to hold a pad of paper together, it would do that job just fine. A small amount of papers in this case. We've got our little flower with the blue center and a ladybug. So we've got brads, bingo chips, bingo call numbers, pearls, jewellery, buttons. Oh, we got one more. Oh, and painted nail polish circles. And then the other one that I wanted to show you was wax seals. So I've got a bunch of these wax seals that I got from Dollarama. And again, that's an odd purple. There's a beige. That actually looks good with that white. It doesn't look too bad with that. It's not a good color for a flower center. I've got some pink ones. Oh, I've got a purple here too. These are from Dollarama or Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, I believe. So there's a dark purple, a pink, and a beige. I should be able to use at least one of those colors here. That one that's kind of silvery too, and a white. No sense in closing that right up. So the purple one might go well with, no, it doesn't. It might. These dollar store flowers are, the colors are not perfect, not really spot on. Okay, the white one should be able to be used with anything. And they are sticky on the back. The fleur-de-lis to me goes with blue for the French. So let's do that, but we better add some blue. And there was one that was kind of like a Celtic heart. And that one might be good with the purple. It's silver. It's like a gray with a gold Celtic heart. And of course, I could always add a bigger layer behind this. Like if I wanted to find some small doilies or doily die cuts that I could put behind this, it might look really pretty. And then I think I'll use this idea. This I got in a swap, and I might make something like this. Some book page leaves, at least with glitter and ink. This one's also embossed, which I may or may not be able to do, but that would be a great way to embellish, you know, a leaf and a flower kind of thing together. What else could I show you just today? Oh, I wanted to show you this one with the music. This is a brad. This is where the idea of the music page center came from. So let's do it with the purple center on top of the, let's make it really musical. Yeah, that's pretty. I haven't done, oh, I did do that combo already. And I did purple already. Did I do blue and purple? Yes, I did. So the only one left is the pale pink with purple. That's nice too. So those ones that I've done purple with the coral, the pink, and the blue, but this one also has pink. So those are fun. And then you can use any kind of leaf in behind. These leaves were with the, I guess they're violets, those purple fake flowers. These were violet leaves. So you could put those with it too. Maybe on a like a disc that you're trying to decorate or anything really. So much fun. So how many more do I have here? Let's finish them off while we're here. Pink. And this midnight blue is really pretty. That would look good with the purple. So these are just little paper flowers you buy from Michael's usually, I think. Maybe from the dollar store you could get them. If anyone recognizes them, let me know where you think they came from. I think I got them in a swap, so I'm not sure where they came from. And then this beige one, what would it look good with? It looks good with the blue, actually. And I might, yeah, I might want to take that pearl off of there, if I can. Feels like it's pretty stuck on. I swear these feel like they're more than one layer of paper. And the reason I like this blue one so much is it's reminding me of the masterboard that I got in the mail yesterday. That I just love. I think that's my next video, is doing something with those. So maybe I can use this embellishment on it. So that, and then I was thinking of this in the middle, but that's not going to show up very well. Do I have a bluish one? Or some other color? There's a bluish one. It's kind of more periwinkle or silver. There's another fleur-de-lis that's kind of purple. I think that's too big. I think maybe a button in the middle of that one might be better. Let's see what I got. They're buttons. First I'll look at my buttons that have string in them. Although most of those are the character ones, which I don't like as much for the centers of the flower. Here's a little bow. That's kind of cute. Yeah, that really is cute. It's not really what you'd expect in the center of a flower either, but that has to have the back taken off of it because it's a shank button. You have to squeeze pretty hard, so you might need someone to help you with that. But if you get a good sharp tool, it might do the job. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue here instead of on the back of the button because I'm sure to get my fingers in the glue. That is cute. Is it not? And then let's see if any of these are dry enough yet. Yeah, this yellow one is dry enough. Just a little bit sparkly. Now, I was thinking of these in the blue flowers. Of course, I've used the blue flowers all up. You know what? I'm not crazy about this one. So let's put that aside. We might change the color of that. And let's see what we can create here. That looks better, but I think I'm into this layering now. So do we do blue, pink, and yellow? Is that a fresh combo? I don't want to tear a bunch of pearls off. I did the one, but I don't want to do all of them like that. Maybe I'll just keep this one simple and flat. It'll allow it to be used inside of a book somewhere. And I can always add a little bit more glitter to it if I want to. Yeah, I still like that one better than the bingo chip. It's about the same look to you, I'm sure. But I just like the coloring better, I think is what it is. So, pink and pink. Purple and pink. You can tell I'm not crazy about this color of pink, can't you? Well, I might as well finish up the rest of these silk flowers that I have in this bag. These were given to me in a swap. I'm sorry if you were the one that gave them to me and I don't remember. I get a lot of happy mail, and so that's why I do the videos, so I can look back later and remember, and I always send a picture of what I've received to the person on Messenger, mostly so that I remember I received something from them. I can follow the conversation we had before the happy mail went out, and also so that if I send them something back as a return thank you from the happy mail swap or whatever it is, I don't send them back what they sent me. I don't like the idea of doing that to someone. I don't want to do that. So I make sure that I keep track of who gave me what with pictures in my videos. I don't always remember in my own mind, so forgive me. So this is a nice big one. That doesn't show up very well. I mean, it looks just the same as what the center already is. Maybe white. No, white doesn't do it for me either. Maybe this would be a good place for one of these fleur-de-lis. Oh, I've got some other pinks in here too. Got a pale pink that will work. Yeah, let's do this pink. So wax seals is something I would never have thought of for the center of a flower, but it's working quite nicely for me. I like the way it looks. I think I'm done with those. Don't want to use them all up. Gotta hoard a little bit of them. There's that one special. This one I took off of an envelope that someone sent me. I didn't want to put it away with the envelope. I save all my happy mail envelopes, and eventually I'm going to do something with them, but I didn't want to lose track of this. I want to put it in with my others. Actually, there's two there. Okay, what about this one? This chartreuse is something else, isn't it? I know that looks good with navy. That would look good. That's really striking. Doesn't need much more, does it? And this one's big enough that maybe I could layer it on top of a doily. Let's see how that looks. Bet you it's going to look very fresh. The navy and the chartreuse, or lime green. A little bit earthy lime green. And then a doily. Still a little big. I need to find like a 2.5 inch doily or a 2 inch doily. I guess this flower is about 2 inches. So in this one, it would need to be, actually that's 2.5. So a 3 inch doily or a 3.5 inch doily. This is about a 4.5. So always on the lookout for little doilies, but I think I'm going to glue that down. I can always rip it off later if I want to. Just sort of damage the center of the doily, but then I could always use the outside edges if I wanted. And then this would look really good, and I just talked about this morning that I don't have any dark blue ink, but this would look good inked in dark blue. So I could do it with paint, but I think I'll leave it until I get some ink. I like that. And since that one worked, I bet you this one will work. And I can ink that one in pink to show you what I mean. Although I like the prettiness of the pure white doilies sometimes. Most often I don't leave them pure white. I'll ink them with vintage photo. But I've discovered lately, watching other YouTubers, that I do like the look of colored ink on some things. Like when they're meant to be more pretty than vintage. Just holding that down to get it to lay flat while it dries. And I've got my inks right behind me here. And I actually have a dauber head with a pink on it. So I think I'll use either Pink Memories or Buck Rose. What's it going to be? Buck Rose or Pink Memories? I think Pink Memories, because it'll match more the center there. It's more of a bubblegum pink. And I'll just do sort of the very tips. So if anyone has a source for 3-inch doilies like this, I would be quite interested in it. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to run and get it and make you wait to see, but when I take my final picture that will be my thumbnail picture, I will put a picture of a couple of these with the crocheted flower doily things in behind them. What they are is pieces I've cut out of runners, like table runners that are crocheted. Oh yeah, that's pretty. It's just a little big, but it's pretty. Okay, so oh, and there was one other. Actually, this one might work. This is also an earring that I had, leopard print, and it's sort of just a flat back with a, that's just glued to the back of it. So that you can also glue in the center of a flower like this. It's a bit big. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm a rebel like that. It's not too big, but it's a bit big. And it might have looked better with a darker color, but that was the other idea. And along those same lines, one more thing. Do I have a good color for this? I've got some beads that are kind of flat. The ones that I could find quickly to show you without spending all day in my beads collection were stars. So some shapes they just often do in flat beads. Of course, there is a hole on two sides, but you're not going to see that when it's in the center of a flower. So you can take like a white star and glue it right down in the center of your flower. And the red star, no, maybe in this one. I'm not crazy about it, but I'll do it. Someone else might like it. That's not bad. Red and coral. And then, do I have any other flat things? Oh, I've got these other flat rhinestone earrings that I have. I will do one of them. Oh, actually, I've got maybe cobalt, but I've got some stars that are rhinestones, and they're earrings. So they'll either just come off easily, or I'll have to cut them off with the pliers. Cut these ones off. And so that will make a really pretty center as well. Sorry, this glue's a bit stringy. It's catching on everything now because I've left it uncapped. So that's pretty too. I would maybe like it a little more if it was layered up. Let's see, does that look good with the white? With pink? Yeah, let's layer it with the pink. I won't waste that glue. I'll put more glue down for this. Everything's starting to stick to my fingers too. It's time to end the video. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing a few different ideas. I've got one more here. This one might be a good St. Valentine's Day, not Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day one, which is this green heart in the middle of a green flower. But it might look better if I put the white or the beige with it. So I can't help myself, guys. I'm sorry. Gotta do one more. I might as well finish them up, because once I turn off the camera, that one that's left undone will stay undone. And I'd rather have them done. I could leave this on and bend it over like you do with the brads, but I'm gonna cut it off. I'm more likely to want to just glue it down to a page or to a, actually I've got a journal that this can go on. So I will show you how I'll use that one, and then I'll let you see the other ones in upcoming projects. How's that? There's a couple brads I didn't use. I've got this one flower left, and that button's not right. So we'll put it back. What could I do there? I do have this. This is kind of themey, but this is one of the breast cancer ribbons. This is actually supposed to be a paper clip. It's just plastic, but I got it at a dollar store. I got a pack of like 100 of them. I made a bunch of earrings with them back in the day. I know that breast cancer hasn't gone away, but I feel like people are tired of talking about it. And I think that's terrible. This was all meant to raise awareness. And I think it's a shame that people don't seem to be talking about it as much anymore. I know a few people who've battled it and won and lost. Some have lost, some have won. I still like to let them know that I think about them. So Donna, who I've lost as a friend, know that I'm thinking of you. And Jamie, who is still a friend, know that I'm thinking of you. Well, that's not great. It could be smaller, but it would go well for a themed journal as an accent. Yeah, I'd like that to be a little bit bigger flower, but so we did a lot. I'm not worried about these little ones because they already have like little cute centers in them. So let me take a moment and just put these out where you can see them all. Hopefully they haven't all stuck down to my paper. Some of them have. And like I said, when you see the profile picture, you may see some of them looking a little different with some crocheted lace in behind them. I'll go and get that before I take my final picture here. And so this would be a good way to store them too, is just to glue them to a page, because these ones sort of stuck down because there's a hole in the middle. So the glue seeped out the back. So if you wanted to store them in a book or something, you could glue them down to a page. And then when you want one, you could just tear it off the page. I've done that with my clusters. I have a book of clusters that are all glued down to the pages just with glue stick, so that it's easy to get them off. Glue stick doesn't tend to stick forever and ever. So that's a good way to use it. So I'll count up how many different options I came up with. And I would love if you would tell me other ideas. We would try them for you, or you can share on my Facebook group, Thistledew Creations. Share pictures of the ones that you've done. That would be great. I'd love to see your variations and other ideas of things to put in the middle as well. I was gonna get to these. These are eyelets. So that's one thing I thought of but haven't done. But yeah, I'm really happy with that little stash that I've created. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day. Happy crafting.